Hello, clarinets. I hope everyone is excited to play. We are going to begin with our case. You want to make sure that the case is flat in front of you, and if there's a logo or a brand name, for example, this one says Bundy, you want to make sure that that is facing up. That way, when you go to open up your instrument case, all the different parts won't fall out. So once you have the case in front of you, it's flat, and you have the logo or the brand name facing up, you can go ahead and open up your instrument case. Now, there's a lot of different parts in here, and we are going to talk about all of them so you know what they are. The first thing you're going to see is our mouthpiece and ligature. The ligature is the metal part that goes onto the mouthpiece. So we have mouthpiece and ligature. Then we have our barrel. We have the upper joint, the lower joint, the bell, and you should also have a reed. So again, we have our mouthpiece and ligature, barrel, upper joint, lower joint, the bell, and your reed, and it might be inside of a reed case. The first thing I want you to take out is the barrel, the mouthpiece and ligature, and then your reed. And you can go ahead and close your case, just have those pieces out. Now what you're going to do is take your mouthpiece and ligature and your barrel, and you're going to twist these on together. So you should have one big piece that looks like this. And then the next step that you want to do is take your reed. If it's in a case, go ahead and take it out of your case. And the clarinet will only work if the reed is wet. And the best way to do this is by taking the reed. You're going to have a thin end and a bigger end. You want to take the thin end and rest it on your tongue for about 5 to 10 seconds, just like this. And that's it. And it should look something like this. Now, in order to assemble your reed onto the mouthpiece and barrel, you should see a logo. This one says Rico. You want to take that logo and put that down and take the thin end of the reed, and that's going to go towards the top. So you have your ligature and your reed, and it's going to be under the ligature. So take the reed and slide it underneath of your ligature. Just like this. We should have something that looks like that. Now, if your reed is to the side like this, and it's not covering that opening in the mouthpiece, you're not going to be able to get a sound. Or if the reed is too low, like this, and you can see a lot of the opening, you're also not going to be able to make a sound. So you want to make sure that the reed is all the way to the tip of the mouthpiece, so it's perfectly in line like that. Now, if your ligature is not going on, you might actually have it the wrong way. If yours looks like this, you have to take your ligature off and flip it the other way. There's actually a big opening and a smaller opening on that ligature. And then the last thing is to make sure your screws of the ligature are on the same side that the mouthpiece opening is on. So when you put the reed on, the logo's down, we slide it under the ligature, and the screws are on the same side here that the mouthpiece opening is on. Once you have that set and your mouthpiece is straight, in line with your reed, you can gently tighten the screws of your ligature. It'll look like this. Now, we're ready to play. We're actually going to make a sound just on your mouthpiece and barrel with the reed. The way to get started is you take your bottom lip and you're going to want to put it around your bottom teeth, almost like a cushion, like this. And then you take your top teeth and you would bite down on top of the mouthpiece. So you take your bottom lip, make it a cushion, with the reed touching it, and then your top teeth bite down, and then you'll close your mouth around it, and then you're ready to play. So again, we make our cushion, bite down gently, close your lips, and then play. It'll sound like this. Now, I know that's a funny sound, but if you're able to make that sound, you are actually going to be able to play the clarinet. So we're going to do an exercise together. It's called play for 4, rest for 4. We're going to play a note that lasts for 4 beats long, and then rest for 4, and then do it again. So it'll sound like this. Listen. Rest, 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 rest. Let's try that together. Take your mouthpiece and barrel, make your cushion, bite down on top, close your lips, and let's go together. 1, 2, ready, here we go. Rest, rest, one more time. Very nice. Now what we were playing there are whole notes. Now we're going to play the same exercise, play for 4, rest for 4, but with 4 quarter notes. And it's going to sound like this. Rest, 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 rest. Let's try that together. Play for 4, rest for 4 with quarter notes. Make your cushion, top teeth, close your lips. 1, 2, 4 quarter notes. Rest, rest, one more time. And now you are ready to put the rest of the instrument together. Go ahead and set this down and open up the rest of your case. The next thing you want to do is find the upper joint. Now the upper joint is usually the one that has the brand of the instrument written on it. So you're going to take your upper joint and your barrel and you're going to twist them onto one another like this. Now it's important to make sure the reed is in line with the side that has the least amount of keys. So we see all these keys here in the front. The reed is on the opposite side, just where you see these few keys. Then you're going to take your lower joint and you're going to twist that on to the upper joint. And we should have it so that all of these keys, all of these circles are lined up straight across. And the important thing to look for, there's 2 keys here that connect the upper joint and the lower joint right here. And those keys will overlap one another. They're called our bridge keys. So make sure that these 2 are overlapped. And then again, we should have all these circles going straight down. In the last part, take your bell and you can twist it on to the bottom of the instrument. And then you're ready to play. So go ahead and close your case. And what you're going to do is take your right hand and you're going to take your right thumb and put it underneath this little thumb rest right here. And that will support the weight of the instrument. It's important to remember the right hand's on the bottom of the instrument. Then you take your left hand and your left thumb is going to go and cover this hole. And then take your first finger in your left hand and you're going to want to cover the first hole. So we have our left thumb covering the hole and our first finger covering the first hole, and then your right thumb is under the thumb rest, and all the other fingers, they don't float way up here, they don't press down all the keys, they just hover above the rest of the keys. The only keys we want to press down right now are the thumb and the first finger. And if we only press those 2 fingers down, we're going to get note name E on the clarinet. And that will sound like this. So let's try this together. We are going to do a play for 4, rest for 4 on note name E. So let's get set up. Your right hand's on the bottom, left hand's on top. We're going to pinch and cover the back thumb hole and the first hole. And then you're going to take your cushion with the reed, bite down on top gently, and then let's do play for 4, rest for 4, and whole notes. 1, 2, ready, here we go. Rest, rest, one more time. Very good. Now let's do our other play for 4, rest for 4 exercise in 4 quarter notes. Get everything set. 2 times. 1, 2, 4 quarter notes. Rest, rest, one more time. And those are both of our exercises on note named E with the clarinet. Now, when you're playing the clarinet, it's really important to make sure you have the bell of the instrument in the right position. For example, if you had the bell really close up against your body, your instrument would sound like this. And you wouldn't really be able to make a good sound. Or if you had the bell way up here like a trumpet, you won't really be able to make a good sound also. The correct placement of the bell needs to be in between both of your knees, right in line with your knees. So take the instrument so the bell is perfectly in line with where your knees are, away from your body, and then you get a really nice sound. So you are going to practice on the mouthpiece and barrel, the play for 4, rest for 4, and then you're also going to practice note name E, the play for 4, rest for 4. Once you're done practicing, let's talk about how to disassemble your instrument. So you're going to want to do it in the reverse order that you put it together. You'll take your bell and gently twist it. And put that in the case. Then you'll take your lower joint. And then you take your upper joint and your barrel. And then you want to take the reed off of the mouthpiece. So loosen up the screws of your ligature, and you'll slide the reed out. And it's important to take the reed off and put it back in the case. That way the reed has a chance to dry out, and it'll help the reed last longer and it won't get damaged. So always make sure that you take your reed and put it back in the case off of your mouthpiece when you're done playing. And then you put that piece back in, close up your case, and that's how you disassemble the clarinet. So when you're practicing, I don't expect you to practice on your mouthpiece and barrel for an hour in a row without stopping. But what you should do is practice your play for 4, rest for 4 exercise for a few minutes, maybe 5 minutes. Then you can go do something else, and then come practice it for 5 minutes more. And then maybe the next day you come back and you practice your instrument for 10 minutes, and then you go take a break, go do something else, and then you come back and play for 5 more minutes. So you don't have to practice for a long time in a row, but see if you can practice for multiple times throughout the day. That's how you'll get really, really good at the clarinet. So have fun practicing, and if you need any help, please feel free to reach out to me. Have fun.